My name is Joshua, and I'm the Tribune. I've been talking a lot about how we need to be friends with God and we need to seek relationship with Him. But I wanted to dedicate time to really explaining what that means. How do you actually become God's friend? What are the actual practical steps to do that? Because I do understand that a lot of times preachers and people who are talking about God, sometimes they don't give you practical steps. What do I actually do to move in this direction? That's something that was very hard for me, was finding practical steps. I actually had to rely on God to show me practical things inch by inch to get to know Him. And the thing is that I was able to do this with help from certain pastors and certain people that poured into me. But I noticed that really wasn't the determining factor on if I was to become God's friend. It was not people pouring into me. It wasn't really principles. That's not what made me God's friend and brought me on that journey. The thing that really is the common denominator amongst all of those beautiful things is that I was obedient. I noticed that when I was obedient, I learned something new about God. When I wasn't obedient to whatever He was telling me, it could be anything, okay? Then I noticed that I didn't learn anything. And if I did learn something, it was what He didn't like. So but it wasn't an advancement of a positive for me. It didn't feel positive when I was disobedient, because there's discipline for that. Because He loves His children so much that He will discipline them and He will give them consequences. So when I say in my videos to be God's friend, what I'm saying is, first, you have to become a Christian. You have to have salvation. You cannot even go into this area without first becoming a Christian. It's very important. And if you want to, go down into the descriptions, and there's a prayer down there you could say, and after that, you are a Christian, and then you can move forward in these principles. After you become a Christian, then He will meet you. He will meet you in places. He will come find you. I say this. He will come find you and move mountains to show you that He's real. But you could become a Christian through faith. Okay? He values faith. And He will show you He's real. Then from there, after you know He's real, which you will, because He will make sure of it, He wants you to know He's absolutely real. He's more real than your family. He's more real than your flesh and blood. He's more real than anything you can look around wherever you are right now. You look around and pick it up and feel it, and this thing is real. It's not even close to as real as God is. So after He shows you He's absolutely real, He's going to take you on a journey that will teach you His character and things. It will teach you how He thinks. It will teach you what He doesn't like. He's very patient. For the people who talk about God like He's just going to come and just bring this lightning bolt down and strike you if you miss a step or something like that, it's just not true. That is absolutely not true. He is very patient, very loving. He's serious. He's not joking, even though He's funny like we talked about, but He's very serious about his missions. So He's a mix of all these things. But He teaches you what He likes and what He doesn't like. He teaches you how He operates. He teaches you His strategies. He teaches you His rhythm, like I talked about in one of my other videos. He teaches you His beats. He teaches you how to stay in step. He teaches you how you can trust Him. So how you learn these things is through obedience. And you take each step at a time. And you have to trust that He will come talk to you about these things. And He'll start with small things. He's not going to come and just dump these things down on you that you can't handle. That's not what He's going to do. He's very methodical, and He knows how much each of us can handle. He's not going to give us any more than what we can handle. And it's amazing. So it's important when we're talking about obedience that to know it's not some servitude slave mentality that a lot of people talk about it like. For people who are so focused on like being not being slaves and don't want to be being a servant is it's not. It's because you're jaded. It's because maybe your heritage is has some slavery in it or something like that, and so you think that like we should never be slaves again. That is not even what I'm talking about. Obedience is not some demeaning uh, practice. You know why? Because you're in the hands of the living God. Obedience is following instruction. Obedience is knowing that He has your best interest at heart. Obedience is saying, I'm going to focus on this step that you've put in front of me. You're going to speak this to me and what you expect of me and what you like and what you don't like. And I'm going to strive to do that thing. I'm going to strive for it because I know it's in my best interest and it's in His best interest. The difference between being obedient and with humans and being obedient with God is that people who that you don't like being obedient to, or situations that you don't like being obedient to, um, you cannot trust that they have your best interest at heart every second. So you think if I do this thing, it's very possible, even if they love me, that they're wrong. It's very possible that I'll get screwed by it. But this is not how God is. It's impossible to get screwed by God. It's impossible to actually have something happen where God's like, oops, I'm sorry. I made a total mistake. You were just obedient and you got totally wrecked by it. No, that's impossible. It can't happen. So He teaches you these things. You don't have to believe me in this. I don't expect you to believe me in this. That would be really ignorant of me. I don't expect it. What I expect is the God to come find you. I expect for Him to come confirm my words to you in your life. I expect for you to step out in faith and then God meet you. And then you say, oh my gosh, it's true. This is true. And then you start stepping. That's what I expect for the people who want to go on this journey and find value in these principles. So through obedience, He teaches you. The first thing He tries to do is he's interested in you, not the mission of whatever He's trying. He's interested first in you. He wants to make sure that you're cleaned up, that you're okay on the inside, that you're healthy spiritually, even physically. Everything. He wants you to be healthy and strong. So the first things that you're going to have to be obedient to are things that He's speaking about your life that He wants to clean up. Because before you start building and getting His blueprints, God does not like messes. He's very clean. He's the cleanest thing you've ever seen. He's pure. So He likes cleanliness. So when I say cleanliness, I'm not talking about perfection, because that's impossible. Humans cannot be perfect. But we can be obedient and work on things and strive to hit the marks that He's putting on our hearts. So when He's starting to work on you, He'll start pointing out things. He'll say, hey, that music is nasty. Turn that off. That stuff is horrible. That's our first task. You need to stop listening to filthy satanic music because it clouds you. We need to, because his agenda is to try to make sure you can hear Him as clear as possible. So He's got to clean everything up. So for the people who start this process and you start realizing, oh my gosh, like I didn't know like this about this, okay, He's pointing out this about me and this about me and this about me and I'm not doing this. It's not because He's trying to beat you over the head with a stick. What He's trying to do is to clean you up because He loves you and He wants you to hear Him very clearly. So He's going to start pointing out things. You didn't treat her right. Can you go and apologize to her? You need to apologize. I don't care what she did. You need to apologize. Because you know why you need to apologize? Because I don't like how you handled that. This is how God talks to us. I don't like how you handled that. If I don't like how you handle it, then who cares what somebody thinks? I don't care what she did. It's my job to deal with the other person. That's what he says. It's your job to listen and follow me. And these are the things he'll talk to you about. And then you will do them and be freed. And your hearing will get better over things like this. And you will come to the understanding that, oh my gosh, this is a long process of cleaning up, but he really loves me. He cares. He is invested in every single piece of me. This is what you learn. From there, after you reach the cleanliness that he's expecting, not perfection, cleanliness. It's totally different. When you hit that clean space, then he will start talking about other things. Now, the beauty of it is as he moves forward in the other things like blueprints, like talking to you about your desires, talking to you about why he placed that, why do you like that, why don't you like this over here? It's not bad that you don't like this. I want you not to like that because I'm going to use it for this. When he starts talking to you like this, certain things will come up that you've already dealt with him on, but they're easy fixes because you're coming from a clean place. And so these things come up sometimes. So while you're building and getting the blueprints, and he's like, okay, I need you to do this. I need you to prepare this, like this, and we're going to go over this. Now rest. When he goes, takes you through this process of preparation, gives you the blueprints for your mission, then he can also talk to you first. He can keep you clean. And you'll be very sensitive to it. And that's why you'll be able to hear it. And you'll start to learn how to value being cleaned up because that's your channel to hear. If I took some wax and just plugged your ear so there's just a flat piece of wax outside of your ear, if I just covered it so you have big wax balls on the side of your head, you would be very uncomfortable, as to say the least. So if I even put a little bit of wax and stuffed it in your ear, you'd want to get that out pretty quick. This is how it is after you get clean and you're so clear in your hearing and your vision, your spiritual vision, your spiritual ears, that you can't even bear having some wax in your ear. You just get that out really quick and you get it out and you move forward. That's how it feels. And it's a benefit. It's wonderful. And it feels so amazing when you finally get cleared up from when you get a little dirt in your ear. You know, you got water in your eye. You just want to get it out really quick so you can see better, see clear. You're going to need this for when he actually takes you into your mission. All these things you're going to need. You're going to need to know his character through obedience. You're going to need to be able to understand how to keep yourself clean. You're going to have to be able to hear him when you do something new and he's like, I don't like that. That's not good for you. Because he's inside of you. That's my next point. He's not outside of you. When you become a Christian, he lives inside of you. So if he's inside of you, that means that he's right with you. That means that you'll be able to feel things that he doesn't like or that he loves. It's both. And it's all for your good. So what I would say is for people who are just trying to go on this adventure and this journey with him, take something that is small that he's talking to you about, knowing that he will talk to you. He's not going to make it hard for you. You're going to know what he's saying because he wants you to. It's not because there's nothing it's not you, it's him. He wants it. He will chase you down. When that happens, make sure you follow the instructions. Take one step at a time. Follow the instructions and then move to the next step. And you will see, if I focus on my step right now that I'm on, it's impossible for me not to move because he's a moving God. He doesn't sit. He doesn't just sit down and just relax and we're not doing anything. No, he's always moving. And he's relaxed. In fact, he sits and relaxes while he's still moving. This is his character. He's very methodical. So focus on the step you're on. Knowing his character, learning how he is, And you'll know that as I move forward, he definitely has my back in things I don't even have to think about certain things because I already know he has them under control. So how you become God's friend is through obedience. Faith first, obedience second. And obedience in God comes through faith. You have to have real faith. Now, a lot of Christians say, I do have faith. Okay, that's good. You have faith. But what kind of stuff do you have faith for? We're not talking. For Christians, we're not talking about just salvation. That's just fixed. That's done. Once you become a Christian, you're finished. You are safe. Now he expects you to grow in your faith so that he can do things in your life. It's really, really imperative. So that comes through obedience. Now, I want to encourage people who feel like they can miss these steps and that they're trying to be obedient. They have a heart to be obedient, but they think, what if I miss something? What happens what if I accidentally am not obedient? Okay. First of all, if you're his friend and you're going to be his friend, he will let you know. You'll know when you're not obedient. Okay. But even if you don't know, which could happen and sometimes does happen, not because you're trying to be reckless or sinful or something, it just happens. You have to remember that if he wants you to know, he wants you to know your next step and what you're supposed to do more than you want to know it. He is more serious about it than you. That's what I encourage you with. He's way more serious about it than you are. So knowing that, you should know that he's got your back. Don't worry about you messing it up if you have the right heart. He won't allow it. Keep these things very close to you. Focus on your step right now. You will find peace. Hail Jehovah.